Welcome back to the Shrink Down. Today we are going to be starting off with just kind of chatting. We usually behind the scenes before we record, we start to chat a little bit about how things are going, kind of just catch up. But today we thought we would share that with you. So we'll go around in a minute, talk about our summers, how things were while we were taking a break. Then we'll do our 4-minute faves, which is I feel like a lot of people's favorite. And then we're going to do our pop culture roundup, which we did last season, I think 2 or 3
Right.
times. Yeah, I think it was about that time, about that many times. And this is where we'll each kind of just pick a topic or something we've seen on social media or in the news. And we'll kind of just spend 10 minutes each just chatting about whatever that topic is. So before we get into our faves and our roundup, ladies, how do you feel being back to life podcast?
I was really excited.
Yeah,
I
I'm
felt like
feeling
I
great
like-
that my kids are back in school, which I know is
It
cliche, but
coincides with like going back to a schedule.
yes,
which I
feeling
love.
good.
Yeah. The
Yeah, I
lack
think
of
for-
structure in the summer is just horrific for me. I'm
Well, it's
like,
like even though like so we send our daughter to camp, so it's like kind of like
Yeah.
school day. I still feel like it's not the same as being in school. Like for some reason
Yeah.
it just feels different, even though like she's got something to do every day. And then of course like all the activities kind of stop in the summer, so there's not that then like pick up from school, get you there
Yeah.
happening as much in the summer. So I don't know if that's also why it feels so different too, even if your kid's like doing something every day in the summer. But yeah, it's been quite an adjustment the last 2 weeks getting back to schedule, doing all the mental math. I think I texted
yeah.
you guys about that.
Right. The
Just-
backward math.
Oh my gosh. Okay, if I got to be there at 4, then I have to
I
leave
know.
at 3:30, and I got to make sure I do this, walk the dog at 3:15. Yeah. So
Yeah.
all the activities. I was talking to my husband and he was like, we were saying that September, like from mid-August to mid-September, is like the third busiest month with all of the back to school
It's a
prepping
lot.
and then the
Yeah.
curriculum night, meet the teachers, all of that. Then our
Mhm.
school does like a fall carnival and all that. I'm like, could we have maybe like one less activity? Because it's a lot. It's a lot.
Please, Britta, how was everyone's summer?
It
Like, what was your
good.
highlight of your summer? Any
We
highlights?
got a puppy,
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We did see your
We
picture.
got a
Remind me,
puppy,
what's the puppy's
yes.
name?
Rosie.
Rosie.
Okay.
Yes.
How's
Yeah,
puppy? How's
she's-
puppy life going?
Yeah.
You know what? I have to tell you, she's so good. So we did, I don't know if this was a thing since you, Terry and Vanessa, you guys have gotten your most recent dogs, but like when we got Cooper, which obviously at this point was like 20 years ago, they didn't do any of this kind of stuff. They did temperament testing with the dogs.
Oh,
Which was like such an interesting process. So we were not this breeder we went through, and we did a lot of research beforehand, told us like you cannot pick the gender, or there were 2 different litters, like the coloring or whatever. She said you can, but it might be a while before you get a dog. We prefer that the dog picks you. We go at 6 weeks old, they do all sorts of temperament testing with the dog. And then we had to fill out a whole thing about like our lifestyle, whether or not you had kids, whether or not you'd be home all the time, or whether you would be, leaving the house, like all these different kinds of questions. And then they match the dog with the family. And
That's
like,
interesting.
we've got our perfect match.
Oh.
Like she's so
Our-
good with kids. She's got a great temperament. And when we were there to pick her up, there was like an older couple. So clearly like that couple was like getting a different temperament kind of dog. That's like, for somebody that's home a lot or whatever. Like, I mean, just so cool. So
my experience was very
knock on wood, it's
different
been awesome.
because
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my dog came from a shelter and was
My-
rescued off the
Right,
streets
now
of like
that's right.
Baltimore.
mine
That's
was
right.
rescued off the
That's
side
right.
of the Mississippi River. So
So
and we
Okay,
would
so a little different.
came with a lot of trauma.
yes.
No, but
It's a
you know
little
what?
different. A little different.
But I will say that I wonder if they got that from actually rescue dogs, because I've
I
always done
wonder.
rescue foster,
Mhm.
and they do temperament testing with them.
Yes.
They don't match you, but they will.
They just
they
let you
will-
know.
Yeah, they'll say like
Yeah.
this dog is good with no family or no other pet, so they do temperament testing. So that's interesting now that they're doing that for dogs that you buy from a breeder, and I think that's important because so many
nice.
dogs end up back in shelters who
Mhm.
come from breeders, right?
So this is what I was reading.
I think
Yes.
that's good. Yeah,
That was part of
That's
the reason that they do this, is because they do not want the dog in a shelter and they don't want the
Right.
dog back.
Right. They don't want you to have a dog.
And
Yeah. I think that's
so
smart.
it's like
Yeah.
super important to them. And so they were like very clear, like, hey, like you can pick a gender or a color, but then it might be a while. It could be another year
Mhm.
before we have a litter that meets your like whatever. We want to match the dog to you guys. So she's awesome. Yeah.
That's
The boys
cool.
love
The
her.
pictures
She's
you've
really good.
posted, she's
Awesome.
adorable.
Yeah, she's
So
so
cute.
cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was our bit. Like it literally, I'm like, oh, so we have a baby again. Like you
Yeah.
forget.
It's like having a
Mhm.
baby. Yeah.
So that was our summer. That and a lot
Yeah.
of golf, as you guys saw as well. I was on the
Yeah.
golf course almost every day, which was fun.
Yeah, mine was
about
pretty
everybody
low
else?
key. My
Yeah.
husband Dan had to travel a ton for work almost every week, if not every other week. So that
We
sort
had
of
that.
took up most of the summer, which then made
Yeah.
when we sent both of our kids to sleepaway camp in August, very sweet
right.
because he was in town that week. And we got a nice break with both of them gone at the same time. It was my 10-year-old second year going and my 8-year-old's first year going. You have to be 8. And he
How
turned 8
cool.
in May. So it was his first experience and he loved it. He can't wait to go back next year. So I'm a huge fan of, and I realize there's a whole variety of sleepaway camps out there and what they can provide, but I think they both had really valuable experiences. So big fan, highly recommend. I think
I
Wilhelmina's son
second
went to
that.
sleepaway camp also. Yeah.
His
So
first
that was-
year, and he went with some buds.
Yeah.
They loved it.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, just a very kind of chill, low key summer. Lots of work, unfortunately. Hanging out by the pool and just parenting. 2 kids. Well,
A lot of parenting.
Yeah, a lot of parenting happening.
Parenting in the
Yeah.
wild, wild west of the summer.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. Yeah. Yep. The sibling bickering really reached like DEFCON 10,
Ugh.
like about midsummer. It was just
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what it is.
yes.
It's like end of July.
Oh,
All of a
yeah.
sudden, it's like they can't even be in the same room without.
It's insane. The things they argue about, they are like an old miserable married couple. They just bicker anything they can fight about, bicker about, get on each other about. I mean, it's almost like an SNL skit. So
Like, I
was
love you, I
glad
hate
to
you. Yeah.
send them away for a week, and then they were back for a week, and then school started.
Nice.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, it was good. How about you, Vanessa?
I think a highlight for us, we travel like once a year. We usually do like a trip without our daughter, like out of the country. And so this was the first time we took her with us. So we went to Paris. It was the first time that she
That's
traveled internationally. So I was definitely worried. Like, how's this going to be? She's going to have been playing, like she's been on planes lots, but like for this length of time.
Yeah.
But it was so awesome. It was just it was a fun trip. We went with our really close friends and they brought their daughter. So I think it would have been very different if there hadn't been another kid because she's an only child. So it was really, I think, nice that we went with another family who has another kid. And it was just really nice to just have her with us. And we took family photos, which I've seen people do that. But it was fun to just kind of document. But in thinking of it more, I was like, that would be fun just to do that, even if you're not just going out of the country, but just kind of a fun way to kind of document a trip. So I think that was our highlight was having traveling abroad with our daughter for the first time. So
Yeah, that's super smart, the family photo piece. I have friends that do it on their vacation every year, like spring break or whatever. I'm like, that's so smart.
We did
It's so
ours this
cool.
year too.
Yeah, very cool.
And
I like that.
if you're a family who does like not everybody does that, but if you're a family who
Right.
does it, it was not more expensive to do it. It was this like it costs the same basically. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm sure that depends on what country or where you're traveling. But like I said, I think you could even do that just on vacation anywhere. It doesn't have to be abroad. But yeah, it was just a nice way to kind of document it. And now we have photos for Christmas. So
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, and then
I
you
like
have a
that
different
idea.
background. Like I feel like
yeah,
at least around here, a lot of people do the
Oh,
fall
yeah.
photos, and I was like, we have a lot
So
of fall
stand in a
photos.
field
Like,
again.
And it's always the same.
It's always
Yes.
the same.
Yeah.
Like, so have
Yeah.
we been to this park?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Have we stood in front of this bush?
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, Amina, how about you?
My highlight was definitely being able to take my kiddos to one of my favorite places in the world, which is Grand Marais, Minnesota. It's northern Minnesota, almost like at the border of Canada, right off Lake Superior. And I used to go there from like 4 years old and on. Every single fall, I would go with my mom, her best friend Martha, and her daughter Abby. So the 4 of us would go, and we did it up until we were in college, and then we did it a few more years kind of spread out. But the last time I had been back was 2010. And I had always wanted to bring Maddie and Griffin. My mom wanted to bring them when they were little. And I was like, mm-mm. Like, I don't want to be kind of carting babies and toddlers to this place. It will just ruin, it won't be the same. So I really wanted to wait until they were old enough to like enjoy it, experience it.
Mhm.
And then this like timing never worked, but finally they started late this year, which meant we could go up north, stay for a few days, and then hit, my annual Minnesota State Fair
Mhm.
all before school started. So it was sort of this magical timing of everything that I feel will never happen again.
Yeah, right.
But the kids loved it so much. And it was so fun to share with them all of these things that I have loved my entire life and have them be so excited about it and love it as much as I did. So that was totally awesome and definitely like the highlight for sure of my summer.
Yeah, your pictures were great.
Yeah, it was
So
really, I will say though, right before we left, because it was mid-August, I was like, okay, you two have been fighting nonstop. So I basically did an empty threat, which I don't do a lot of those, but I was like, we're driving and this is one of my favorite places. And if you two start fighting and ruin this, I will just have Dad like drive you back and I will stay.
Yeah, I definitely said
I thought
things
you were
like
gonna do
that
that leave them
before.
by the side of the road thing.
I was going to say, leave them by the side of the road.
The road.
You will walk.
Yeah. I told Danny
But I
to
was just
find
like-
a phone in Costco the other week. I said, you can go up to a coworker and ask and find your own ride home from Costco. He's like, how could you
Mhm.
say
It's
that
just
to me? I'm like, I don't know. It just came out.
Use those problem solving skills.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, ladies, let's get into our 4-minute faves. Who wants to go first today?
I will.
I can go.
Oh, you got it.
You, me.
You got it. You go,
I'll
Lauren.
go.
Lauren,
Okay.
you go.
Mine will be quick because I don't have a lot to say about it other than I'm really enjoying it. It's just taking me forever to get through. So speaking of like, what have you been doing this summer? I've been trying to read, but I haven't read as much in the summer as I thought I would because of all the other things going on. And it's taking me a while, but I'm reading the American, or I don't think it's the American Duchess.
Okay.
And it's Consuela Vanderbilt.
Oh.
So it's like a fictionalized story, but based on true events of her life. It's really good. And it coincides with, if anybody watches or has heard of The Gilded Age on HBO, I think it's HBO or whatever they call it now, Max. There's like some crossover of different characters because the Gilded Age also references like the Vanderbilts and things of that time. It's just been a fun book. It's taking me a long time to get through, but I do recommend it. It's actually a really good book with some fun like historical references of the early 1900s and things like that, both in America and Europe is where it takes place. So the American Duchess, and it's Karen Harper. It's good. I highly recommend if you like those kind of period, either
Historical
shows
fiction,
or books. Yeah, it's fun.
And you said it is fiction, but it's heavily
Based
based
on her. So it's like, it's
Historical
all of like
fiction.
the events that like, like her timeline, like, so it's fun. Historical fiction. Yes. Terry, what do you got?
Okay. Mine is a podcast. It is called Unicorn Girl. I don't know if you guys have heard of this. It just came out mid or end of August. So it's just a couple weeks. And I think most of the episodes dropped at the same time. My friend Emily recommended it to me. We talk about podcasts a lot. And it is very much in the same vein as that Scamanda. If you guys ever listened to Scamanda, which was a huge hit.
Amanda.
So very much female charlatan scammer, type of, again, this is all true story. And so I'm on the 4th episode. I've been listening to it on any of the long drives when I don't have my kids to sports back and forth. Like we had some stuff over the weekend that was pretty far away and dog walks and stuff. I wouldn't probably listen to it with kids around. But it's really good. It's keeping my interest. It's called Unicorn Girl. And then when I looked it up, again, it just came out like August 18th or something like that. So it's only been out a couple weeks. Highly recommend. Very
awesome.
very
Sounds
captivating.
Good. I love those.
I love those. Yeah.
Cool.
So I I'm going to talk about my favorite show this summer, which is The Summer I Turned Pretty. And so it's on its third and final season. It is based on a trilogy of like YA novels. I started Summer Turned Pretty when it first aired, the season 1, and just was like kind of, oh, cool. What's this show? Watched it, loved it, was on board for season 2. And then around season 2, I was like, oh, other people are watching this. Like people are talking about it. So when the third season was about to come out, I actually asked Maddie if she was interested in it because it is technically kind of YA. And she said, yes. So we actually rewatched season 1 and 2 together and then have now been watching this show. It's not even done yet. Every Wednesday we watch it together. And that actually is the highlight because it's the first sort of like adult-like show that we're watching together. And it's been interesting to watch it through her eyes and actually watch it as a mother. Like the first 2 seasons when I watched it by myself was very different. And when I watched it with her, I kept inserting little comments like, this guy makes for real good drama, but I'm like, if there's a guy that keeps taking his like affection away and love away and doesn't communicate, I was like, just run, don't stick around. I said it really makes for a good show. Right.
Yeah.
There's been lots of fun teachable moments, like one of the characters pulled out a bag of what was clearly like pot, and my daughter was like, Mom, is that cocaine? And I said, no, sweetie, cocaine is white powder. Okay, so that's pot. And then they're smoking a bong. She's like, what is a bong? And I'm like, these are very good things that she's learning in this show.
That's funny.
But the whole thing, the whole summer, it has been every Wednesday. We're just super excited. We talk about it. Then the next day, she's like, what are the Instagram reels all about? So then we watch all the funny Instagram reels about like all of the comments and the comedians making fun of it. Then I have a girlfriend who's watching it. And so the next day we also text for like back and forth for like an hour, like just all our thoughts and all our stuff. It's been this like connecting piece to friends and Maddie. And I've loved it all. And the show is just a delightful hot mess of a show. I love it. Everyone loves a good love triangle.
Yeah. Yep.
Like it's
Danny and I discovered a show on Netflix.
Prime.
Yeah, see, that's on Prime, right?
Yep.
Yeah. The first sort of adult show that Danny and I started watching is Shaquille O'Neal's Power Moves, about him trying to bring back Reebok, which like he was fascinated by. And it's like, I think Shaquille O'Neal is just such a bombastic personality, but technically, but that was a show that we got into over the summer that we watched. If you'd like to add something to it.
He's a DJ. Shaquille O'Neal DJs.
Yeah.
Did they talk all about that?
All the things.
So they talked about that. So he is like, has been an ambassador for, he had a lifelong contract with Reebok. And you remember how Reebok like has not been hot for a very long time.
Right.
They are, so the whole show is them following him, trying to relaunch new shoes and products. There's a lot of marketing in it. They got, what's her name? Who plays for the Chicago women's team? Who's really good.
Caitlin Clark?
No, Reese.
That's Indiana.
Reese.
Oh, Angela Reese.
And Reese, I think,
Angela?
yeah. So she's one of the spokespeople. But anyways, it's very much like a Angel Reese. There we go. Yes, you are correct. Angel Reese is going to be like her new shoes launching and how they're trying to bring back Reebok to be popular again because Nike has, such a dominance in the footwear field. So that was the show that I got into.
Oh, I feel like 90s are back. I mean, let's bring it back. Everything
bring back Reebok.
Yeah.
Okay. So sorry to jump in.
It's funny.
It's all good. All right.
How about you, Vanessa?
I'm going to share a snack with you all. Just something that I kind of came up with this summer. Maybe somebody else has already made this up. I don't know, but I didn't see it anywhere. So, in my never-ending journey to add protein to my life, I got some of the Chobani, like the plain yogurt, which I think is kind of gross, to be honest. Plain yogurt is not good.
Really
I mean, maybe it's good for you, but I don't like the way it tastes. It's kind of whatever. So I was trying to figure out how can I make this better and more palatable. So I'm a big peanut butter fan. Have any of you ever used PB2? It's like
Yeah.
peanut butter powder.
We have
Yeah.
that.
So
Yeah.
so I put that into the Chobani, the plain
That's a
Greek
good
yogurt,
idea.
and mix it
Yeah.
together. I know I was telling my friend, I was like, oh yeah, I just mixed it. She's like, that's a really good idea. So if you like peanut butter,
Yeah.
it makes it like, I mean, it doesn't taste like peanut butter, guys.
It's not
plain Greek
bad.
yogurt.
It's
But
like
it's
a good
actually,
flavor.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it gives it a nice flavor, I'll say. Like
Yeah.
if anyone thinks it's going to be like dipping into a peanut butter jar, sorry, no, it's
No.
not. But if you put the PB2 into the plain Greek
Yeah.
yogurt, it makes it so much better. And sometimes I put like granola in it too, just to give it a little bit of sweetness if you like it. You can add maple sugar, but then you're obviously adding sugar into it. But I actually found it to be really like tasty. Again, you have to like peanut butter to like it, but it just gives you a ton of protein because obviously plain Greek yogurt has a ton. Chobani, and then you just add the PB2. I do like 2 tablespoons in it, and it just mix it together. It's good.
Fun. That sounds good. We
like
put it
it.
in shakes.
Yeah, that's
and it
usually
gives,
how
like,
I've done the
yeah.
PB2.
Yeah.
Like especially like protein shakes. Like
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I have yet to meet a protein shake that doesn't have an aftertaste. Like
I know.
I just haven't
I know,
met one yet.
chalky and like
Yes.
Yeah.
Some less than others, like more palatable, but I feel I've always put PB2 in there, and it makes for some reason the peanut butter just kills that taste. So like that's how I've used it before in the smoothies, just to like
Good idea.
get rid of that like chalky taste.
Shaky
And again,
taste.
you have to mix it with something that's going to go with peanut butter. But that's so PB2, if you want. I mean, the good thing about PB2 is that it just has less calories than like regular peanut butter. That's why you would use that instead of regular peanut butter. But it has all the protein. So anyway, that's my share for today. If you're looking for a protein snack, Chobani Greek yogurt, plain with some PB2 in there.
I just go for the sugar flavored.
Hey, if you are going for it, go for it. This is not an
mango.
Yes. This is not an anti-sugar yogurt. I'm a very big believer in do you whatever is.
I have
you wanna
yogurt
do,
like
but-
almost once a day. Like that's
I eat it every day.
because I like because they're just like so protein packed that I
every
just
day.
I have to get them myself though, because Owen just brings me back the same 2 flavors, and I was like, I cannot eat.
I always
the
forget
same
about
2
yogurt.
flavors.
I
Oh.
rarely.
That's Mark.
Yeah, my kids eat a lot of yogurt, and I just forget about it.
I was gonna say,
I just
But
like
the kid
forget.
stuff is very like different. Yeah. So I usually, if I don't do the Chobani thing that I just mentioned, Siggy's is like a really like that is one of my favorite ones. Lots of flavors, has very few ingredients. If you look on the back of it, it's really good. But I agree. Like Mark could eat vanilla cinnamon every single day, and I'm like, I want the mango. I want the strawberry banana.
If he brings me one more vanilla, I'm like out. I'm not eating it. Like
Agreed.
I like ratio too. Ratio is good too.
I haven't tried that one.
never heard
That's
of
good.
that.
We'll check it out. Yeah. But Siggy's is my other. If you don't want to make your own yogurt, Siggy's is a good one. Lots of protein, not a lot of sugar. All right, ladies, are we ready for our pop culture roundup? So for reminders for folks listening, this is where we went around. Each one of us just brings up something that we've seen, read, heard of. We'll spend about 10 minutes. I'm going to be the clock watcher today. So try to stick to our 10 minutes. So I'll be waving. If anybody watches this on YouTube, you might see me waving a purple Post-it. That's a sign to move along, wrap it up, so that we can each get some time in. All right, who wants to go first today?
I can go.
I'll go.
Oh, it's me and you. It's me and you today, Lauren.
I know. You go first this time, Terry.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. So mine is, for anyone listening, you might be sick of this. So bear with me because this is just my hot take on it. I don't know what their cute celebrity combined name is, but Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I don't know if they have
it's trailer.
Is it trailer? Which is hysterical.
Taylor.
It makes it
Yeah.
sound trashy.
That sounds trashy, like WT.
I don't like that.
So let me back up. One, I'm a massive Travis Kelce fan. I think he's a phenomenal football player. I think he's super duper cute. I think that he can dance. I could go on and on. So he's a cutie. Taylor Swift, I'm like, whatever. I feel like she came out. I don't know when she came out. Maybe you guys do. I feel like she came out. I was already an adult. I was definitely out of college. So I feel like I didn't quite, I don't know if you guys did, but I feel like I didn't.
Well, she was also originally country music.
Okay.
So,
and that would
so
be
she
it.
was
And I'm
started
not-
in the country world when she was a teenager.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why, because I don't listen to much country. And so I always remember thinking, oh, she's talented. You know, she's a very talented songwriter, musician. And as the years have gone on, there's some of her hits that I like. I've never owned one of her albums. I wouldn't just turn around and listen to
Yeah.
her, but it's fine. She seems like a super nice person also. And I think she's a great role model, especially for young girls. I feel like if there's someone that I actually think it's really cute when little girls are really into her and they're little Swifties. So them together, though, I feel like what a feel good news story for their engagement.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of thoughts about, because I listened to Travis and his brother have a podcast called New Heights. So sometimes I listen to that podcast. They do like an NFL roundup and stuff and interview different celebrities. So I know they're probably annoying for some people, but I really like how present they've been in the media because one, it's a feel good news story and we don't have a lot of those. They seem genuinely in love. They seem like they really get along and get each other. I don't know if this is strategic by their PR people or not, but they seem to get in front of the media and almost saturate everything. They don't try to conceal or hide. I feel like it's a really good PR tool or strategy. I don't know if people are coaching them on that or if it's just them being authentic, but they sort of don't try to conceal and hide stuff. Like, we're engaged, here you go. You know, his dad is being interviewed, sharing details of the engagement. They just sort of come out there with it. They're not trying to hide the ring and don't let anyone get pictures of the ring or get pictures of them on vacation. Like, they just are out there with it, probably maybe because they're in their mid 30s. And so, you know, they've sort of worked really hard to get to this point. But I really like
you get to control the narrative when you do that, right? Like they get to control the narrative and say, not let it come out. And she was in a very different relationship before there, where it was very like
super
private. Super.
And so
that's hard.
I know. And what I like most about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, is I like how both Travis and his brother Jason really raise up strong, powerful women. They are willing to be partnered with them. They're willing to be married to them. They married their equals, if not someone a par above them. And they are just not afraid of strong, intelligent, outspoken women who know who they are, who have a good sense of self. And they sort of raise them up. They are not the cliche guy who's marrying somebody younger because he's not willing to be with someone who's his equal, or someone who is just going to make their whole life surround them and their occupation and be, your typical, what's it called? WAG, right? Wife of, or whatever it's called,
wife
right?
And girlfriend.
Yeah, wife and girlfriend. So I feel like, I really like that both of them are just really empowering strong women, and partnering with them and praising them and wanting to promote whatever they're working on. And then the other thing that I really like about them is, and they're total bros, like Jason and Travis Kelce are definite bros. But what I really like is,
I like their podcast, and I'm not even a football person, and they're just entertaining, the two of them. It's just funny listening to them.
Like they totally are. They know what they know. They know what they don't know. And they're not afraid to admit when they don't know something. They'll just say, like, I've noticed on the podcast, like, I don't know, what is that? Right. They don't, try to pretend to be somebody they're not. I really like their brotherhood, their brother relationship. My boys are 2 years apart and I know they're 2 years apart, and just seeing what that could look like as adults, I think is really heartwarming, and seeing them and how they just goof around. Like if you listen to their podcast, like they goof around together, they joke, they're really supportive. When I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw a few clips of when Taylor Swift was on their podcast announcing her album launch for October, and Jason looked genuinely emotional and like almost tearful when he was watching his brother with his girlfriend. And you felt like you were watching him watch his little bro with his girlfriend, not like Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Like, it was just watching them be together. Again, I think we're probably going to I could be eating my words. I could be really sick of seeing them all over the media in a couple of weeks or months, but I just feel like, it's a feel good news story. I feel like it's something to lean into, and not criticize and judge. And if you don't like it, don't watch it, don't pay attention to it. But I feel like it's a good news story. And the more Travis Kelce we have out in the media, the better. So,
yeah.
What did you guys think of it?
I mean, I've always been like a fan of the two of them. And going back to like the Taylor Swift thing, I was not into her like when she was younger because I wasn't into that like genre. And it's funny because Ev, my daughter, who's almost 9, she went through a phase. She says she's no longer in it, but she was she was a Swiftie. She's moved beyond that now. But the songs that she likes are not the songs that I like. She likes all the Taylor Swift songs that Taylor Swift wrote when she was a teenager. That's what she likes. I like all of Taylor Swift's kind of more recent like music that she wrote as a grown woman. And so I think there's this like huge like span of just her music. It's changed over time. And I think part of it has to do with her age. So it's funny, like we both like Taylor Swift, but I don't really like the songs that she likes because they're, the 16-year-old songs that she wrote. And she doesn't like the songs that I like. I'm like, oh, I like, these last 2 albums, 3 albums the most. And she's like, I don't like those songs. So I think there's definitely a range of things that people like as far as her music goes. But I'm here for them. I like it. Yeah. I'm enjoying it.
It'd be hard not to root for them.
I mean, that's true. They're just like likable people, at least from the media standpoint.
Yeah. And there's so much crap in the media. Like, why not? Like, even if you don't care about them individually or their sport or their music or whatever, like, just like, I think they're safe to champion.
Yes.
And there's not a lot of that,
Well, I think I've read a couple times that I think one of the things some people have tried to like latch onto in a negative way is that Taylor Swift is very different than his last few girlfriends. So like his last few girlfriends were very like well-educated, beautiful Black women, like the last 4 or 5. And so people are like, Taylor Swift's not, like she's obviously blonde and has blue eyes. And so I know that that's been like insinuations there that like, oh, maybe he's just with her because she's popular and she's Taylor Swift. And, I thought about that and I kind of giggled to myself because I remember when I was younger, the 4 of us were together and I don't know who said it, but I was dating someone and one of you said, oh, he's like totally your type. And I was like, what? Like, I didn't think that I did until I was like, oh, wait,
I feel like that was me.
Maybe I do have a type. And I didn't realize that like it wasn't like a conscious thing. I was like, oh, I guess I do. And then now having married my husband who has nothing to do with that type, like literally, I'm like, you can change like I think for me that like I
change your type.
I think different things become more important to you as you mature, and so I think some of that physical stuff that you think of when you're younger, again, I was not even aware I had a type until you brought it to my attention, and I was like, oh, I guess I do. That changes. So I don't think that that's something that people should latch on to for him because
it's not indicative of
it. No, I mean, I think so
your choices.
Exactly.
And I think for me, I've followed Taylor Swift. I mean, again, similar to you guys, like I think I did like her early stuff. I feel like I did have one of her early CDs, like the CD that was like the first one she did after Country, which had a lot of like the Love Story and all of those like early hits. I did love doing karaoke to Love Story. I still do every once in a while. That's like that is a good karaoke. Yeah. But what I like about their love story is that Taylor has had so many different relationships, and I feel like she is so ready to like love and be loved. And I feel like she kind of has had this like, I don't know, just I think she has been broken up with a lot for whatever reason, whether she's with men who just can't commit or, I mean, obviously her songs at least portray a lot of heartbreak, which just can happen in love and whatnot. But I sort of always have been rooting for her to like find someone who is going to love her and be with her and stay with her. So she's been in some long-term relationships. So it's kind of like, even with Travis, I was like, who knows? So it was kind of like, yay, finally she has someone who is like going to step up. And, I think they do seem like a really cute couple. So, and it's never been in a very invested storyline for me, but it's still been just on the side. I'm like always kind of like, I hope she finds someone.
Easy to be happy for them.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. So my sort of pop culture moment of the summer, and it like keeps happening, by the way, is CEOs behaving badly
Ooh,
and
Oh,
being
love it.
recorded on video. So with the first one being like the, the Coldplay CEO, and then his human resources.
What a news story to
whatever.
bring everyone together over the
Oh
summer.
my
Oh my gosh.
I know. So like it's not as like heartwarming as Travis and Taylor, but like it is like light, and like it like brought everybody together in such a way of like, oh, we can like roll our eyes at these people.
Yes.
What I find so interesting, so that one, and then the guy at the tennis match that took the hat.
Oh my gosh.
And then
that pissed
like
me
you
off.
see a lot of, and my parents, I was just chatting with my parents about this, and there's one that just happened over the weekend of a woman like at
Mark
a
was telling me.
baseball game, and she went and like screamed at a kid to get up the ball. What I find fascinating about in all of these instances, especially the people in power, but any like adult, is like you're in a venue that people have their phones out and are recording you, or it's actually being recorded on television, like the tennis one, and you're still behaving in that way. Like your impulse is to behave that way. So like, what kind of people are you away
Behind closed doors? Would
Right.
you not? Yes.
Like these are terrible people. Like their impulses in public are to do these things. And then, so like, what are they like in their day to day? I find it so interesting to watch. And like, it's something everybody can kind of rally around.
And you wonder if
Absolutely,
people
like-
like forget that if we become immune to just knowing everyone has a handheld device that can
As a
record you at
phone,
any time.
yes.
Like, do people just forget? I don't know.
I don't know. Or is it like, this is like, they're like, it's like, this is how you're behaving when you,
But I mean,
I don't know.
impulsivity is going to
even if you're not
supersede
being
that.
recorded, you're out in public.
Yeah.
Right.
yes,
Like
public. Yeah.
you're in public. So
Yeah.
even if you don't think you're being recorded, there are so many people around you who could just see you. Like forget about recording you. Like they have eyeballs.
Yeah.
Eyeballs. They're looking at you, right?
And like,
So-
that's your go-to behavior.
Well, I think it's fascinating the story about the guy who snatched the hat away from the kid.
Oh.
At the tennis match, is that he first there was a statement that came out that was, that's
Horrible.
He says that it wasn't him. So let's just say it wasn't him. Let's just say that wasn't.
Which conveniently people can do nowadays. Oh, that wasn't my statement.
Oh,
Here's my real statement.
It was not. No, fake news.
Right.
Yeah.
But even the real statement, I was like,
was not good.
It was not good.
No.
Like it was better than, of course, the fake one, but it wasn't good. It felt very like, not genuine. And then it goes back to like, oh, I had this moment. And I was like, but no, you're an adult. You have your frontal lobe is fully developed.
You have a brain that has reached full maturation.
Right. And that moment
You're
could
just
have
an
connected to like,
Yes.
it could have easily connected to the next immediate moment. We could have all seen him immediately be like, oh my God,
I'm
so sorry. Right.
Yes.
And that
Right.
didn't happen.
No, he
That's
hid
the
the hat in a bag.
He shoved it in
That's
his
the thing.
wife's bag or something.
And he's still actively like asking for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So this happened on the golf course. So we watch golf all summer. And I'm sure none of you guys have on the PGA Tour all summer long. It's in our background. But this happened, and one of the golfers went after the fan because he went to give, I forget if it was a glove or a ball, to a young boy standing there, and he was going to hand it, but he had to keep walking because he was like actually playing. And he stopped play and went after and like started yelling for people to grab the guy who was running away with the golf ball. And they got him, but it's like, how
and like, y'all are grown ass adults.
Grown ass adults
running away with a
golf ball. Like, check yourself, dude.
And people are following him with cameras. He's one of the professional
and
players. And so the
main
cameras are, of
question
course,
is-
going that way.
I'll say this, having a 10-year-old in my house who does collect things. He gets something, he puts it on his shelf, whatever.
Of course.
What are these grown-ass adults doing with these things? What are you going to do with that
Probably
sign?
trying to sell it.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe. Like a golf ball, a hat, or whatever. I mean, what those little trinkets
know.
mean to kids, and what they bring it to school, they show their friends, they put it in their bedroom, whatever. What are these grown adults doing with them? Like, how are you going to do with that?
Bizarre behavior.
Oh, gosh.
It's bizarre.
So bizarre. Yeah. Are you gonna like wear the hat? Like,
right?
You're
I
gonna
don't
display
know.
it in
Like,
a
what are you doing
prominent
here?
place in your
I
house?
don't know.
Like, come on.
I don't know. It's
Then
just
every
a
time you
hat
see that,
I
aren't you going to
stole
think
from a
about how
little
you got
child.
it? This is the hat I
Mhm.
snatched from the little boy.
Yeah. Got
so
some
proud of that move.
I know.
It's
Oh my
like
goodness.
so it's just like you said, it's like something we can all sort of rally around and at least laugh about whenever when lots of other things feel heavy and serious, we can all just roll our eyes at these adults behaving badly.
Yes. Isn't there
I
a
feel
show
like it
called
almost ties into like obviously in a lighter moment, but like now some of like after Me Too, it's sort of like with all of these cameras everywhere and people like some of the horrific things that like these like power hungry people who just get away with shit do. It's like
Yeah.
now getting captured and highlighted all over, which is sort of delightful and amusing for all of us to be like, oh, you can't just be openly quite that much of an asshole anymore, at least when you put it towards other people in public.
Or you shouldn't be.
Or you shouldn't be.
You can.
Right.
You can for our amusement later on Instagram.
Right.
See,
Well,
that
I mean-
then I appreciate the cancel culture at that one when
Oh,
these
Oh my
things
gosh!
that, like then
Especially
I'm
like with
Mhm.
how funny people can be. Like
so funny.
oh my gosh, some of the memes about the CEO at the Coldplay concert were
I know.
hysterical.
I know.
Like the comedians of Instagram can really like make us all chuckle.
Well, I thought it was funny too that some people were like upset initially about Chris Martin calling him out.
Oh,
But I was like,
No.
to me, I
No.
feel like when you've watched the things, like it was not. I don't think he sat there and goes, oh, my-" like it was
No.
just like a immediate natural
it was a
reaction.
genuine,
It was a genuine like
Yeah.
like people who have like witty like kind of humor like that like would
Yes.
immediately say that like it was not
Totally.
a deceptive
It was not
like
thought out. It was
No.
not pre-planned.
like
It was
you guys
just
cannot be
it was
mad.
witty.
This is called
Yes.
deflection here.
right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
seriously
so
be mad at
funny.
Well,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you guys were in public. Clearly, there were other people around you. Like, other people clearly knew you were having an affair. So
Mhm.
the only thing you're upset about really is
Getting
that it
caught.
got put out in public. Because guess what? Other people knew you were having that affair because you are surrounded by people who are your coworkers. Like,
They were in a suite.
right.
I
Yeah,
know.
it was
Just
that
like,
your
this wasn't
spouses
that
are
much
now
of a
aware.
secret, I feel
Right.
like.
A lot
Well,
of
maybe not
narcissism there.
but to
A
their
lot of
spouses.
narcissism. Yeah.
Mhm.
But their
I know.
spouses didn't know, obviously. So
No.
And I did love the Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, that was hysterical. The marketing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that was pretty brilliant.
That was very smart of that company. Like,
Yeah.
what are we going to do? We might as well like talk about deflect, but they
Yeah.
did it in a very smart way. Yeah.
and getting ahead of things. They're
Yeah.
like, okay, like we're not
Yes.
going down like this. Like
Yeah.
this is how we're going to counterplay that.
Right. This is
Yep.
not how our company's filing for chapter
So I should
11.
say, so anybody who didn't know, so the company that these two people work for hired Gwyneth Paltrow to basically
Yeah.
do a commercial for them that they're
Yeah.
saying like,
Do some damage control.
yeah, there was basically
Yeah.
some
Like,
damage control. Like,
well,
yeah, this
and
is what our
she-
company does. We don't
that-
like this.
She
We
did
don't.
a great job of doing that. Like,
Yeah.
some of you might be coming to this website that have never been here before. Like, she did a great
Mhm.
job. Yeah.
Yeah, this is here.
Yeah.
This is what we do. This,
It was
we don't
cute,
do
yeah.
that. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Because, of course, the company shouldn't be punished.
Right. Absolutely not.
So-
And all the people who work there, right? Like people
Right.
who
Like
are
the
employed
real
there who had
human
nothing to do with the
beings. Yeah.
story.
Right.
Right. So
Right.
that was very
So
smart.
funny. Yeah. Well, Amina, what about you?
So I sent you guys this article, I don't know, about a month ago. This has to do with the movie of the summer, I feel like, for everyone who has children, the K-pop Demon Hunters
Mhm.
extravaganza that has taken over.
Yeah. I love
every-
it.
I love it. Love it. I am
Hey,
here
Guys,
for
we missed this one. This is a blind spot for me.
So
Oh.
I know the songs, and my kids have watched it, but I have not watched it.
Oh,
But
it's
it's
Boys has
this is
zero
so good.
interest.
I
It's
know.
really good.
So there was an article that came out that was the therapy generation is now making kids movies, and it's kind of like, and we're all the better for it.
Mm.
Like
And-
with Inside Out and
Yes. And as I was watching K-pop Demon Hunters for the first time, as we did it for family movie night, I was just like, this is all like parts work and shame, and like all of the songs are about like when you try to hide things, something you're ashamed of, and how it just grows and grows and grows. And then once you kind of like own it and like face it, then you're finally free from it. It was just like one of the last songs. I think I saw some sort of like Instagram thing that was like kids listening to this song, and it was like, yay, and adults, and it was like they're all crying 'cause it's like all
Oh,
of
yeah.
the words are,
The
sort of
double
like,
meaning. Right.
right.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
similar to Inside Out too, where
Yeah.
similar concept to the kids love it, and then adults can relate to it on this
Can
other
be
level.
appreciated.
Yeah. And so I think that's what they're saying is like, now we are having this article was talking about like older movies would just be true to yourself. And that would sort of be the message, like be true to yourself, but without any sort of like discussing what that actually meant.
Right.
Yeah,
One
like
of
Snow
my
White, you're traumatized by your stepmother who's been horrible to you.
yes,
Right. But
yes.
just be yourself.
Just be yourself. Just be
Your
yourself.
mother died.
Yeah. Be
Get over it.
yourself.
Yeah.
Be yourself. One of my favorite shows as a teen was My So-Called Life, and I
Oh,
remember one of the
Oh, Jordan Catalano.
I know, right?
I was devastated when they stopped that
Oh,
show.
so pissed. I was so pissed.
One season, right?
One
season
one
wonder?
season.
One season.
One.
Yeah.
And they cut it
I
short.
don't even think they finished the season.
They didn't even
Yeah.
finish it.
Yeah.
That's a whole different
That's-
combo, though.
I mean,
Crazy.
Jordan
Yeah.
Catalano.
We could do an episode.
Yes.
Oh, we could. So she has a quote though, Angela Chase. So Claire Danes' character has a quote in there that's like, they say to be yourself, like yourself is some inanimate object, like a toaster, like you should just know what you are. And I actually had printed that quote out back in the day and had it on my like door as a teen. So I thought it was interesting that they were kind of referring to how that was just this message that we got sent. And now movies and kids movies are talking about, they're discussing the internal dialogue that all people and all kids have. Terry, that sports show that you talked about last year with
that
your
was-
kids, the baseball or softball
We
movie.
watched that. That was cute.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
really cute. The cartoon
Yes.
one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Remember
that
the name of it.
referred to all of these kids who had like anxiety
Yes.
and different thoughts and different fears.
So well done.
And so well done. And that's what it is. Like we are getting more of these in-depth, meaty movies and shows that highlight to kids, wait, do you have these thoughts? Do you have these fears? Do you think you're weird? Do you think you're different? Guess what? Like a lot of people have that. And actually what's different about you, what's unique about you is actually awesome. And don't hide it, put it out there, own it. And when you do that, like you'll kind of find your people who love it too. Like Brene Brown always says, like shame hides in like secrets and shame hides in silence. And so she's always like, if you speak it, if you
You have to speak
talk
it to
it,
heal.
talk about it. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what K-pop Demon Hunters
Yeah.
is literally
It's
all
so
about.
good.
It's so
Yeah.
good. And
good.
Terry, I was actually about to say, I was at this fall or back to school ice cream social, and they of course were playing K-pop Demon Hunter songs like nonstop. And I overheard some of the moms, and they're like, "Oh, I haven't even watched it yet. My kids have watched it." And just like I said to you, Terry, I was like, absolutely watch it. Like it's not
Yeah.
a kids movie. Like I would have watched this
Yeah.
all on my own, and
Uh-huh.
the messages are so good. And I was like, you don't need to watch everything your kids are watching. But I was like, if your kids are watching this and you haven't seen it,
Okay.
you should really sit down and watch it, because now we have talked about this movie. We have talked about what it means. I mean, my kids, is because we do this a lot, they already were like, oh, mom, it's like, this and this, and these are her, this is this, and this is this. So they kind of had gotten there. But it's a great movie to discuss and open the window to discuss these concepts with kids as is like entry level point into sort of these discussions that are so important to have around feelings and feeling different, feeling odd, feeling broken.
And
I mean, the
movies and
lyrics of
TV
these
shows are
songs.
perfect for that. So I will do it. I will watch it
Yeah.
with them.
That's one of
Yeah, for sure.
That's one of my favorite things to do. Like you were saying earlier with the show that you said for the 5-minute phase, where you really like sitting there with Maddie and like having these conversations. And I completely agree. And that's one of my favorite things to do with that, is watch a movie like this, or, other movies where there's like more to it than it's not just entertainment, which I will say this is a very entertaining, fun movie, but there's just so much more to it. And just being able to like use them as conversation starters. I think some people think this is like a girl movie. I would definitely say that's not true. They're killing demons. So there's like this whole fighting aspect to it, but it was just such a nice way for, I think, parents to be able to talk to their kids about things. It's just like, we used to say this about or books, right? Oh, if something's going on, find a book about it. It's like a nice way to kind of start a conversation and see where your kid's at with that. This is definitely one of those movies I agree. I would totally have watched this movie without my daughter. She's 8, and I think it was definitely appropriate for her. I think she didn't catch all the things. And so I was kind of bringing up to her, like, hey, what do you think about, that, and having age appropriate conversations with her about, like hiding, your true self, and how might that look like, without how they do it in the movie, right? But it's so well done. The music is so good. Like, if you're looking for good workout music, I know this sounds
I know.
weird, but
It's so good.
it's
It's so good.
like every single song, like literally every single song. So
Well, and you
really
mentioned
good.
like, it's not just a girls movie. So I went to a concert with my son and his friends, and we had gotten like a kind of like a limo bus to take us there. And so we were in this bus with these kids, all, a group of 10-year-olds, and they were all singing the songs at the top of their lungs. They knew every single like word to the song. And I was talking to the moms about it, and I said, it's cool to have a movie like this that is like universal. Boys love it, girls love it, like everyone. It's not just, I feel like you get some that people are categorizing as a girl movie or a boy movie, and somehow this one transcends that and is above it, because every kid I know who has watched it seems to love it.
Yeah. Danny went to a pool party with most of his grade, so 5th graders. And I think he was glad he had seen it, because when I came to pick him up at the end, all the boys and the girls were like, the girls were doing dances to it, and the boys were just sort of like bopping along and singing like it's the zeitgeist.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is for sure. But yeah, and I think that movies like this can also bring up, like we mentioned, Inside Out. I think Nimona is another one, which if you haven't seen Nimona, which is based on a graphic novel, that's on Netflix. And that has some other major themes. It also has one of the main characters is like, he's a what is he? Not a prince, a knight, and he's gay. And so like there's these different conversations that they're putting into movies. And I think, like, so I was trying to think of other movies that have like hit on me as having multiple meanings and good conversation starters. And yeah, Inside Out too. And then Nimona was the other one that I was thinking of. Any other ones that you guys have seen with your kids that you thought had more layers and depth than maybe some of the movies of our generation?
I think a lot of Happy Gilmore this summer. So
same.
I think
I
agree.
Deep in the movies right now. Other conversations.
Yeah.
I think those are good. The ones you mentioned, I think, are like on the top of my mind as which ones I would say. Yeah, that Nimona one was really good. We watched that too.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right. So we've got just a couple minutes left. I'll do mine quickly. I was going to do how I hate that in August they were selling Halloween things at Home Goods. But
I was going to say, I kind of fall right into it.
Well, I feel like you kind of have to, because if you're like,
you
wait until October, there's nothing left.
Yeah.
Like,
even September, some of that stuff is gone.
I know. But I was actually going to bring up, and Wilhelmina sent this out to the group. So John Deloney, we've talked about him. He's a psychologist who has a podcast. He had Arthur Brooks on, who is he's an author. He's also a professor of psychology. And there was a clip. I don't even follow either one of them, but there was a clip from their podcast. And when I watched it, I was like, I had this feeling. I'm not going to say it. So I'll share it with you. If you've watched it, great. If you didn't, I'll tell you what he says. And so I want to hear what your thoughts are on it. And so I researched this because I was like, I had feelings, and then I will tell you what I found. So the podcast, I actually listened to the whole podcast, and it was not about this topic specifically, which I thought was interesting, but there's this like snippet from the podcast where he says, men find 80% of women attractive, where women only find 20% attractive. And then this creates this niche of men who become narcissists because, they are so wanted by women.
Yep. Especially in like dating apps.
Right. Yes. According to those stats.
Dating apps.
It's all our fault.
Men. Okay.
So this, I think there's two things here. One is, I want to ask you ladies, what do you think about that those stats, like 80, so men find 80% of women, we'll say give or take 80% attractive, and women find men 20% attractive. Like, what does that insinuate? I guess is a good question. And then, yeah, like then she's like, well, now there's this like group of narcissists because all the women have decided. That's how I interpreted his statement.
Yeah.
That this group.
It's like,
Tell me your thoughts. I'll share my feelings.
I think it's
how are they measuring attractiveness? I guess is my issue. Like,
I think it's physical attractiveness. It's straight up physical attractiveness, like, is my take on it. So
I find less than
I will say,
I
I'll
find
say
less
this.
than
I was
20%
shocked.
of men attractive.
You think women find less than 20%
I find
of men attractive?
less than 20% of men attractive. I don't. if you lined up 100 guys, and I don't think I would pick out 20 of them that I would find attractive.
Okay, so you agree with the stats. Okay.
I feel like I might agree with
I feel like
too.
it's more like 10%.
yeah.
I don't know.
I could maybe believe 20, but like, I don't know. Maybe you're right though. Maybe like if you just picked average people from like all over, I don't know. Yeah.
Right, like
it
look
would
around,
be-
look around, man.
I guess
I don't know.
I guess my feeling is almost like regardless of stats, like, so then I don't like the next part. That's what I think
That
I have more of an
men
issue with,
find
is that therefore there's these narcissists, this group that is narcissistic because
I do think
all the women want them.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Like,
do think
No, they're
that
narcissistic because they have a
They're
personality
narcissistic.
issue. Yeah.
Right.
Not because all the women want them. Like,
Right. They have extra
I have an
personality.
issue with that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would maybe say, I think it is really hard. I'm reading a book, or I did read a book. Now I'm blanking on it, but it had a very attractive man as the character, and he married deemed like less attractive wife. This is like per the book, and I don't know what this is. And he talks about how it's unusual. He is so attractive that he could never have found someone as attractive as him. And he has this whole internal dialogue. I know. I really will have to figure out what book this was.
Right.
But I thought it was interesting. And I was like, I do think you come across those guys that are just like almost like universally like attractive. I feel like it's hard for them to stay like nice guys. Whether they're narcissists or not. Like, I'm like, how many of them are like still nice and don't have this like,
because they have developed just such
a
a positive feedback loop through their lifetime, just in terms of interactions.
Life of people. Yeah.
But if it's a positive feedback loop, doesn't indicate they're going to be an asshole then. Like that, no, those don't necessarily have to be one and the
mutually,
same.
right?
I just don't know. No,
Well,
but I don't know.
So for me, I was kind of taken aback because I was like, there was no additional. So I was like, let me listen to this podcast because I want to see what else you say about this. Because in my mind, I was like, that kind of makes it seem like women are like, that's all you like you're so picky that there's just 20% of men. And so the interesting it almost made it feel like to me that men are just more, they don't care about looks as much because they're thinking 80% of women are more are attractive versus women are only saying 20%. To me, that didn't I was like,
click. Yeah.
Something doesn't click there. So I looked it up, and it's true that women do, except that when they look specifically at dating apps, but there's also some data looking outside of that. But what I was looking at was dating apps because this is what they were talking about, that men, even though they find 80% of women attractive, that they will only reach out to the top tier of women they find attractive. Whereas women, even though they may think that only 20% of men are attractive, they will reach down, widen their range beyond that 20% to reach out. And why is that, ladies? Because we don't just care about what a man looks like.
About looks. Yeah.
Yes.
There are other things that we care about.
So silly.
And so they didn't talk about that. So
I mean, the personality.
Well, this is what the material.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say it makes such a difference in making men level up and appear more attractive versus less attractive. I mean, sense of humor, personality, those, the personality traits, are way so heavily.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
And one of the things I was reading is that even if a man is attractive, as soon as he opens his mouth, if he says something
I
that's
was just about to say that.
he immediately becomes
Right.
unattractive.
Yes.
And I know all of us can think of somebody, even if it's been in a movie or
100%.
somebody you
Sure.
know,
John
or
Hamm.
in like in real life, or you watch, like you're like somebody says something, you're
John
like,
Hamm needs to
like,
keep
I
his
don't care
mouth
how
shut.
hot you are.
Yes. John Hamm is a perfect example. He is meant to only have the Mad Men look, that vibe. He needs to be wearing a suit and keep his mouth shut. Because when he starts talking, you're like, oh no.
Wasn't there a video of him recently at oh my God, what's that
Bad
Puerto
Bunny.
Rican
Bad Bunny.
concert? Like, it's so funny that you say that, because oh my
I
gosh,
was
he
like,
was
oh, this is
so,
not
like,
a good look.
Yeah.
Not a good look.
Bucket
I
hat.
thought it was cute.
yeah. I
Bucket
didn't think it was
hat.
bad, but I was just, it's funny that you
It
say
was
that.
very
'cause I was
It's
like,
funny,
Yeah.
but he is, he's one of those people. Like, just
So I
that's
think,
fair.
so my take home from that little clip is that, be wary of when you hear these things on, like, you get clips of things, because I don't
Yep.
follow either one of them. It just showed up in my feed, and just listening to it and thinking like, okay, this is true fact. Like, it was just another reminder to me that, like,
Yeah.
whenever something
the
doesn't
research.
seem right, or even if it
Probably
does,
isn't. Right.
you should always look more do your own research. Like, as
Yeah.
psychologists, I think that's one of the things that makes our profession stand out, is that it's drilled into our brains, like, you need to do research, and not just
and how to do
and
it.
you don't take things for
Yeah.
face value. It's like how to
Yes.
do it. Like, I can't
Yes.
remember how many times, in grad school, I was told to read an article, like a study, and pick it apart. What are all the
Yep.
things here you don't
Yep.
like? Like,
Yep.
and tear it
Yep.
apart, not so that you're tearing apart the author, but just so that you can
Question.
think of something
Mhm.
critically, right?
Question it.
Question it.
it.
And so it was just a good reminder to me that, yep, you see these clips, and yeah, I think that it sparked, an idea, thought in my mind, which is great. I think that's good. Like, it's a good conversation piece, but you should always be, look more into things. Don't just go off a clip, whatever the clip says. So anyway, it was just a good reminder.
Well, and when you
Yeah.
were saying this, it made me think of that movie that I watched. I think I might have talked about the podcast last year, but like The Materialists, which is about women and dating and the things that they look for once they reach a certain age, of like, then they're like, they care about attractiveness, but then they care about all these other things, and like a checklist. And the whole movie is kind of questioning that, like, what does this look like? Do women really do this? Is this, so it was a whole discussion on like what women really want when they're thinking about like dating, marriage, etc.
Yeah, I think we'll have to expand on that. So if anybody's
it's an
listening to
interesting
any of the things that we brought up today, if anyone wants to discuss it more, wants us to discuss it more, I should say, feel free to send us a message on Instagram, or you can email us. All of our information's on Instagram for our email. So let us know if there's anything we talked about. You're like, no, we need to hear more about this. And we'll kind of think of some things too that maybe we're like, maybe we'll expand a little bit more on this. People's acting poorly. What did we say? You said adults acting, behaving poorly. We'll have to start a segment.
Adults behaving badly. CEOs behaving badly.
We'll start a
Good little
segment.
segment. Yeah.
All right, ladies, it was so good catching up. I'm so glad we're back
Yay.
recording.
Yeah.
Please
Yes.
join us next time on The Shrink Down.